Welcome to the 360 Sports Network, everybody. I'm Alex Laverson, and with me is James No Doubt Dotson. We are here in beautiful Newcastle, Pennsylvania at the Crane Room Bar and Grill. They have the best wings and burgers you can find. Dotson, what's happening?
Not much, man. I'm enjoying some artichoke dip tonight, actually, but it's always good to be back in Newcastle. Been out of the state here for the past few days. Good to be back, and we're ready to roll.
Absolutely, and if I'm correct, we're actually be doing another live cast this weekend in Indiana, right?
Absolutely. Just getting back into the state, but I'm not here for long. I'll be heading, as the Hoosiers would say, I'm heading back home again in Indiana. I'll be heading out for the 96th running of the Indianapolis 500. Everybody knows I'm a huge IndyCar fan. I will be broadcasting live Saturday night with a few of the crazy party people who head out for the race. I'll be broadcasting live from a hotel room, which is packed every year with Indy fans. So it'll be a good time. I'll get you more details. Just stay tuned on the site, keep following the Twitter feeds, and we'll get everything good to go for you.
You know, I think it's really a testament of how far we've come and how much we've grown, and we're all over the place now. If we're not doing interviews at NFL press conferences, we're covering IndyCar. But yeah, let's just get right into what we want to talk about today. I think it's interesting, the predicament that Pittsburgh baseball fans, actually Pittsburgh sports fans are in, that have grown up in my generation. I'm 23 years old, in the 90s, things like that. Most people my age really don't remember much about the few winning baseball seasons they had. And it's basically the point where, if you think about it, no one in my generation has really witnessed to the fullest extent and followed a winning baseball team. And it's come to the point now where people in our generation are saying to themselves, I would like to see a winning baseball team for once. People are actually starting to think we'll never see a winning Pirates team again, or ever, actually. And, it has been basically 20 years now, and I guess it's not the most far-fetched idea. And it came across my mind. I really want to see the Pirates, but at what cost? And, I usually don't like to get into hypotheticals, but let's say if I as a fan, or we as a fan, had a choice between witnessing a Pirates baseball team get to 500 or over 500, or having a team like the Steelers or Pens win a championship. What would you choose? Now, of course, the normal train of thought is, well, of course you want to take a championship. What's the point of 500? You know what I mean? Well, what's the point? You're a loser anyway. Well, like I said, this is
It's
unique.
been 19 years.
Yeah. I don't know what it's like to follow a winning team. I really don't. I don't know what it's like to watch my Pittsburgh Pirates.
And we do get spoiled. In recent memory, especially with the Penguins. You got to think, though, 10 years ago, the Penguins were in the same scenario that the Pirates are in right now. A team that just cannot win. They were in danger of having to move. Mario Lemieux literally saved the franchise. So, we could be talking about that. But the thing is, right now, Pittsburgh fans are spoiled from the success of the Steelers and the success of the Penguins. And, if Pitt basketball or football would step it up a little bit, we could really be talking about them being a true full-time city of champions. And no, a CBI championship does not count.
I agree. It's almost like I'm afraid to even ask the question, what would I rather have? I think before our Pittsburgh fans, throw daggers at me, this is what I think I would go with. I think I'd rather witness a Pirates team getting over 500 or making it to the playoffs instead of having another Steelers Super Bowl. Just easy there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the Twitter posts are already coming, I'm sure.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, there they come.
Yep. We're in a unique situation. I don't know if we're ever going to win this Pirates winning team again. Or ever. Ever. I don't know what that's like. I don't know what it's like to follow winning baseball up until, July? Usually not even that.
And let me stop you there. The reason is, the Pittsburgh Pirates are one of the top 5 profiting teams in Major League Baseball. Exactly. It doesn't matter that they don't win. They still sell their product.
Business.
It's business. They have one of the lowest payrolls, if not the lowest at this point, payroll in Major League Baseball. They have a beautiful stadium. People come out, not as much for the games. They come for, let's be honest, a lot of them come just for the pierogi race. A lot of people come just for fireworks night or just for the concert, or just because they're driving past and they say, hey, you know what? I'm going to stop at the game on the way home. Enjoy a hot dog, enjoy a beer, and just sit and relax.
Yeah.
They sell their product well for what their product is. And that's the product of a good management, a great ballpark that doesn't have a bad seat in it, that people will go and pay those $9 nosebleed seats because it's really not a bad seat.
And also, and also a lot of other teams' fans, or just people who want to see other players, come to see the game. But if I had to pick one adjective or word, whatever, to describe Pirates baseball, at least what I've witnessed, growing up, it'd be lifeless.
I would have
It'd
said
be
hopeless.
Hopeless. You know what? Even that. I just think it's lifeless because it's not there. You don't know what it's like. I don't have anything really to compare it to. I know we had the great run last year, but I think everyone knew it wasn't going to last long, or had that, thought in their head, the pitching's not going to hold up or whatever. I don't know what it's like, and I don't know if I'm ever going to get the feeling. I want to know what it's like when my uncles, my family members, my father, they tell me, like the magic or whatever of following your favorite baseball team into the playoffs and to winning. And I never really got that because I don't feel it. And I want to be able to say to myself, oh, okay, now I know what you're talking about.
Well, watching a Mazeroski, Game 7 walk-off. I mean, that's something Pittsburgh does not know.
Mm-hmm.
All that they know is, right now at least, a Roethlisberger game-winning catch to a guy who's no longer on the team.
Mm-hmm.
A wide receiver throwing a pass. This is a guy who's no longer on the team. Scoring the touchdown to someone who's no longer on the team.
Mm-hmm.
We're starting to get to the point where the Steelers legends are starting to fall away. The Pens are going to have to start rebuilding here. They can't keep 3 centers on the way they are right now. We're getting to the point where all teams are not going to be able to do as well. Those legends aren't existing anymore. The Pirates are what holds the City of Champions back. They have a different lineup every time I go to the ballpark. I couldn't tell you who they play.
Oh, yeah.
I go multiple times a year. I never know what's going to happen.
Going to the old ballpark is not going to see the old same ball players or anything like that. You know what I mean? And today, when you're watching the game on Root Sports, the announcers were talking about how kids were coming at field trips to see the Pirates game, and they were rewarded or punished with such a lifeless offensive effort and things like that. Kids didn't even care. Every time I watch Root Sports, for whatever reason, they focus so much on the crowd. You always see crowd reactions or whatever. You always see people, sleeping or putting their hand on their face, texting on their iPhone or whatever they do.
Dude, I would too.
Yeah, I don't blame them. I'm just saying. Then the kids are always eating their ice cream, going la 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 la. They're just La La Land, wherever. You know what I mean? But you see that on TBS watching I don't know, a Braves game, whoever's winning these days. It's not the same.
And let me tell you,
They're focused.
from personal experience, I was delighted to go out to a Pirates game at home at PNC Park with a family from Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. They wanted to see, of course, they're baseball fans. Philadelphia has had a great baseball program in recent years, especially. But this is what they said. Excuse me. They were immediately in awe looking at the stadium. They walked along the river. They loved every minute of it. Every time they were in their seats, though, it was, other than the first pitch, which was an inside the park home run, it was like, where's the life in the crowd? They didn't start playing any pump up music, they get the crowd into it until the 9th inning.
No point.
It was the whole time. It's just disappointing. The crowd actually was a decent size that night, and they were asking on the way back. Is this normally how it is? Excuse you, by the way.
I cleared my throat, didn't burp.
Oh, is that what that was? Whatever.
It's amazing chili here at the Crane Room Bar and Grill.
Yeah, well, here, have some more. I got some orange dip.
Okay.
No, they asked me on the way as we were crossing the Clemente Bridge, why is this happening like this? And I told them exactly what I just told you, the fans. They are still a top 5 crop hitting team. They don't need to do anything else because sadly it is a business. We're going to be talking a lot of business tonight, both in the professionals and the college level. And I guess I need to answer the question. What would I want, another Super Bowl or Stanley Cup, or the Pirates to get 500? You said it already. I'm used to nothing but the Pirates being, bag over the head, punch in the face type thing. I will take another championship for the City of Champions, 500 team, because that's what the Buccos are to me. And I hate to say it, but
They're like lovable losers.
yeah, unless they were to win a World Series, all they will be, to me, is a team to go out. I'd rather just go, at this point, here we go. At this point, I would rather just be able to go down to a ballpark just for the heck of it, at times not have to worry about getting a seat because they do have a beautiful ballpark, but there's always seats open because they don't have a 100% winning team. So there's always seats open. I'd rather just be able to go down anytime I want, go to the club seats, go to the all-you-can-eat seats, pay $20 and get front row outfield seats. Watch the pierogi race up close, enjoy a fireworks night just because, and not have to worry about, paying $100 to get good tickets online. Because at this point, that's all I'm used to anyway.
Well,
I'd rather go and use the Pirates as my enjoyment on a random night over the summer.
well, to me, I'm just asking at least just for one time. I'm not asking them to compete every year. I just want to witness it once. You know what I mean?
Why? But why? Why bother?
I want to know what it's like. I can't.
Is being
get
for
that
500 though worth it?
I want to be able to follow them. I want to come August, September, early October.
And here's
I want
the
it.
thing. Because the Pirates have been so bad, I cannot follow professional baseball. Is it because they're not very good at all, or is it because I just really cannot follow 162 games season?
Probably
I can't
mix
at
of
all.
both.
Oh, I cannot follow it at all.
I think if I knew the Pirates in the future somehow were going to win again, and I'd be alive to see it, God willing, God blessing, I would say, okay, I'll go with the Stanley Cup or a Steelers victory or Super Bowl. But if I had a choice, just at least one time to see the Pirates in the playoffs, I would go with that because I don't know if I'll ever see it. But if I didn't have the luxury of knowing, I would go with the Steelers or the Pens. But really quick before we go to break here, I guess the question is, what can you do about this? There's nothing you can really do. I mean, it's people want to know, like, I don't think there's one solid answer why the Pirates have been so bad. Ownership's usually the top one, and I would agree, but it's not like players are dying to play in the Burgh. You know what I mean?
See, they were talking about something very similar to this on our sister station, WBBW. I guess they're really not a sister station, but you know what I mean. Stepsister, twice removed.
Adopted child, foreign exchange, whatever.
All of the above. They had a big discussion on there because the Cleveland Indians are having a similar problem, and they're based in Youngstown, so they hit Cleveland and Pittsburgh, and they were talking about how many people come to the games every night, and what they were looking at more was the percentage of that stadium gets filled, because the Pirates and the Indians have some of the lower level in terms of total attendance. Well, they also have two of the smaller ballparks in terms of attendance totals in the entire nation. So that makes a big difference when in terms of trying to compare, because in that regard, but also the fact that the Pirates, with a smaller capacity than the Indians, actually have a greater attendance. They have a greater percentage. Don't quote me on that. That's just what I got from listening today. But I mean, it's not just the Pirates. They have trouble. What about the Miami Marlins? They have not had any attendance forever, yet they still get coverage on ESPN. Why? Because they make the playoffs. They now have a very feisty manager who creates waves, and every 10 years they stack a team well enough that they can make it work for 1 year as a one-hit wonder. Can the Pirates do the same thing? Will the Pirates do the same thing? Should the Pirates do the same thing?
I don't. Jeez. They need to do something. I mean, at least you can. I feel like, of course, they tried. They spent money in the draft, and last season, the trade deadline, they made some moves. You know what I mean? And you feel like they're trying. You just don't know how much. It is a business first. But look, the Orioles are kind of in the same situation. It's been 14 years.
Yeah, they're running.
It's like, it's so fitting. I like to say, it's a Pirates life for the Pirates fans, because it really is. When you think of Pirates, you think, yeah, exactly. It's like they're fitting. It's like they're fitting their team name. They're sucking. You know what I mean? They're being the rejects or whatever, the rebels. But it's so many things have to happen.
Right now, it is what it is.
It is. That's
They're trying everything. They
are.
Put a third baseman out in the outfield last night and today. Did it really work out? I don't know. Not good enough.
Is it just player development? Is it just trading away all your players? It's everything.
That's the thing, though. The Pirates of the past 10 years, minus last year, they did not, or they have every year, minus last year, traded one of their star players, one of their big name players, for a couple of minor league nobodies, of which, of them, my number is right, there's only 2 or 3 who have really come up through the ranks to do something.
Uh-huh.
So that's a big problem too. They at least fixed that a bit last year.
Okay, here's the answer. What do you do to change the Pittsburgh Pirates? Everything, I think. I mean, you got to do something different. You know what I mean? Everything has to improve. Everything has to improve.
Everything has to. I don't know what's
It's
the
like
best
a
way to go.
culture of no one. It's so frustrating. I don't even want to talk about it.
Exactly. It's so frustrating. Because of that, we're going to take a quick break. We're here live at the Crane Room. If you're in Newcastle, stop on by. Again, send us a tweet if you want to be a part of the show. If you agree with what we're saying, disagree with what we're saying, or just want to call us eggheads, make fun of us. I know, it's so much fun. But that's what we encourage.
Easy targets.
Well, look at us.
I know.
Obviously. We're sitting here eating chili and spinach
The
artichoke
food's
dip.
so good here. What do you expect?
And while we're on the air. Exactly. Whose idea was, forget this, before I really get going crazy, we'll be back in a few minutes on the Crane Room.
Need a place to go to watch the game? Looking for a great game day atmosphere that hosts great food, great service, and the most variety of craft beer in town? Then come on down to the Crane Room Bar and Grill in Newcastle, where the beer is always cold and the best wings are right here. The specials every night, there's always a good deal waiting for you at the Crane Room. Come out on Mondays for $2 23-ounce domestic drafts from 7 to 9. Tuesdays, burger nights. Enjoy $5 burgers from 7 to 9 p.m. Of course, if pasta's your gig, Wednesday's your night. Pasta night goes bonanza. Thursday, it's pound for pound wings all night at $2 domestic drafts from 7 to 9. And mixed drinks are half off every Friday from 5 to 7 p.m. And Saturdays, from 7 to 9, it's $1 off draft beers. And for every Pirates game this year, enjoy a 23-ounce Icy Light for just $2. Whether it's to watch the game, at the bar, enjoy a night out at the outdoor patio, or sit down with your honey for dinner at the restaurant, the Crane Room has everything that you need. So come on down to the Crane Room Bar and Grill. Get your fix on wings, sports, and beer. Just off Route 18 in beautiful, sunny Newcastle, Pennsylvania.
The 360 Sports Network is not a blog. We are a network, a collaboration of websites, blogs, radio stations, restaurants, and more. We are a group created by the fans, for the fans. Whatever the fans feel is newsworthy in the world of sports, we talk about it. We believe that everybody is a fan and everyone is an analyst. That's the whole 360 concept. We invite all fans to join in the 360 Sports Network by posting on the website directly, 360sportsnetwork.com, or by linking their posts to the collaborative network. You can be a part of the show tonight by tweeting us at 3S Network, or by tweeting Alex and James directly at 3SNDLab and at 3SN. Thank you for your interest in the 360 Sports Network. We'll be back to 3SN live in a moment, but first it's time for a 3SN Sports Break. The LA Kings return to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time in 19 years after last night's 4-3 overtime victory over the Phoenix Coyotes. Dustin Penner netted the game winner with just over 2 minutes left to go in overtime. The Kings wait now for the winner of the New Jersey Devils and New York Rangers. That series returns to Madison Square Garden tonight, tied 2-2. LeBron James and Dwayne Wade have awoken and led the Heat to a 115-83 victory over the Indiana Pacers last night. The series travels back to Indy now, with the home team facing elimination in Game 6. Pacer starters Danny Granger and David West left Game 5 with injuries. Things got ugly in Game 5 last night. In the second quarter, Tyler Hansbrough hit Dwayne Wade across the face in an attempt to block a shot. Less than a minute later, Udonis Haslem appeared to retaliate with a two-arm slam to Hansborough's head. Then, with less than 30 seconds to go in the fourth quarter, with the game well out of reach, Dexter Pittman violently elbowed Lance Stevenson in the throat. Stevenson had made a choking gesture towards LeBron James earlier in the series after missing some free throws. All three fouls were deemed flagrant ones. Possible suspensions loom for Game 6 for all three players. And finally, the Indianapolis 500 will run this Sunday, coverage starting at 11 o'clock a.m. on ABC. Ryan Briscoe won the pole position, nosing out literally by a nose over second place James Hinchcliffe by a just 8 inches, 0.0023, 23 10,000ths of a second. The 8-inch difference and 23 10,000th second difference is the closest ever between first and second place to start the Indianapolis 500. It is the 96th running. Dan Weldon, the defending champion, will be honored on lap 26 and lap 98, the numbers he rode to victory lane at Indy. And that's it for the 3SN Sports Group. Now back to 3SN Live at the Green. Crane Room Bar and Grill 360 Sports Network Live. We're here in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. You know, Alex finished his chili, so he's starting to steal my spinach artichoke dip. Should have known better. I thought you were on a diet.
What's wrong with chili?
I'm not talking about the chili. I'm talking about eating some.
Oh, I can have a piece of bread and artichoke dip.
Oh, whatever. Wasn't enough, and you're still getting dinner tonight, I guess, later.
I'm getting some lamb salad with Caesar dressing.
Whatever.
Or no. Actually, shrimp salad with light Caesar dressing. It's amazing.
Light Caesar dressing?
Shrimp salad.
Well, guess what? I'm not on a diet. I'm getting wings. I'm going to do it just to bother you. Fist pound that. All right. Forget the food. Just come on down to the Crane Room. We're talking sports. We're enjoying the food, watching the games, all the above here in Newcastle. But we're going to move on. Some big news last night. Yes, the Heat. They won. They have taken control of the series, now up 3-2 in dominating fashion. Won last night by, 35 points, I think it was, 115 to 83. I can do that math, right?
It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing.
It is.
NWO for life.
Oh, shush. They only got 2 of their big 3 right now. Dwayne Wade and LeBron James. Chris Bosh is still out at this point. But more important to me right now than the fact that the Heat have taken command of this series is some of the absolute ugliness and thugness that the NBA brought back out. It started to look like the bad boys age again. It started in the second quarter. Pacers forward Tyler Hansbrough, as he was going to block a Dwayne Wade shot, hit him in the face. Okay. Was it intentional? It really was tough to tell. I could argue it either way. He was given a flagrant 1. Less than a minute later, Udonis Haslem retaliates, hits Hansbrough in the face, 2 arms slams him in the face, not even close to the ball, also given a flagrant 1.
Well, Haslem, I thought was pretty obvious. You know what I mean? It's just like out of nowhere, kind of. You saw it coming, but you didn't think it was going to be like, bam, right there, you know?
Yeah, Haslem, there was no chance that he was going to block the shot. He's brought both down, right down on Hansbrough's
Exactly, that's what I'm talking about.
He sent him a message. He sent him a message. Is there a place for that in the game?
No.
Before you answer that, though, I know the answer is no. I agree with you. It really got out of control. 30 seconds left to go in the game. The game's well out of control. 30-point lead for the Heat. And, you got the bench warmers in there. Let me flash back a couple games when LeBron was choking from the foul line. We'll go ahead and say it. He was choking.
Okay.
A rookie for the Pacers, a nobody, a bench warmer, sitting on the bench, watching him miss the free throws, goes and he makes the choke symbol as LeBron misses the free throw. He's doing the choke. He later apologized for it. It was wrong. He's a rookie. Can't do it. But then he gets some playing time because this game is out of hand. Dexter Pittman for the Heat comes in, specifically sees him coming down the lane to go for a rebound, and he goes and he gives him an elbow right to the neck. Not even close. Here's the kicker. Cameras caught him winking after he elbows him in the throat. Also given a flagrant 1. So now, here's the question. Are there suspensions evitable for any of these 3? Start with Hansbrough. Should Hansbrough be suspended for his hit in the face on Dwayne Wade?
As far as the Hansbrough thing, it all comes. It's like me, being a criminal justice student. You learn about, actus reus and mens rea. What's the intent? You know what I mean? And obviously, you saw Haslam's intent there, and it was to harm.
Yeah.
Hansbrough's, we really don't know, but I guess I wouldn't be opposed to maybe a lesser type of punishment. To Hansbrough instead of Haslam, but
So
if you're making choking gestures or winking, and something as obvious as Haslam, you gotta be suspended, or something has to happen. Some discipline has to happen.
Well, yeah. Let me make sure this is clear. Haslam did not make any sort of motion, except some people said that they saw him either give a fist pound or a low five to one of the players after he hit him. Somebody said the same thing, though, about Hansborough as well. So those two, I think, are pretty level, except, the second one always looks worse. The retaliation, same thing in baseball. You hit my guy, I'm going to hit you right back. The second guy's the one who's going to get ejected. So, to me,
I wouldn't have a problem with that.
with a one-game suspension with both of
I
them.
wouldn't have. Well, jeez, it's just you don't really know what Hansborough was doing the first time around. It's harder for that
Right.
one.
Because
but you
he was
feel like there
actually-
should be some type of punishment, whether it's a slap on the wrist or
Or whether it was a
suspended.
flagrant that was already given.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So
I mean, to me,
I think it's
I think Haslam's was a lot worse than Hansborough, just because, to me, it was extremely obvious that there was intent. It was the retaliation. That's the way it works. So I can see one game for each. I can see one for Hansborough and two for Haslam. I can see nothing for Hansborough. I can see nothing for Haslam. I wouldn't like that one, but I don't know. I think it's gonna be minimal at best. For both of them.
I think it's hard for us now
Yeah.
until a punishment comes out to analyze.
Right.
So I think the only appropriate course of action in terms of critiquing this whole situation is wait and see what happens.
And what about Better Will Peace? He gets suspended 7 games for a blatant elbow to the face. So I mean, you got to look at that.
Well, there's people that were saying he had no idea what he was doing, caught up in the moment. Even though we're not met a piece's brain, obvious
Yeah.
needs. That was some hardcore stuff there. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you then the last one. What do you think of the guy giving the elbow to the throat of Stevenson?
You mean the guy doing it, giving the elbow?
Yeah, as you're coming to box out, he comes and gives him an elbow
That's
straight to the throat.
the
That's
LeBron
Stevenson.
one, right? From the whole.
Yeah, that's back from all LeBron. That one's got to be suspended
Yeah,
big time.
yeah. I mean,
That's gotta
come on,
be at
that was
least-
so. That you know what the thing? It was
That's at
like
least 4
it was
to 5
like
games to me.
orchestrated. You know what I mean? It was like you saw it coming. It wasn't in the heat of the moment. You know what I mean?
Not to mention that little wink after.
Yeah. Oh, I got something in my eye. You know what I mean? It's
Oh yeah,
come
exactly.
on. It's like that. The gawk and the wink thing. So.
Well, here you go, actually. Just looked online. They have come out with the suspensions. You are hearing this as I'm reading it for the first time. Udonis Haslam has been suspended for Game 6 because of his two-handed slam on Tyler Hansborough.
I guess I don't have
I-
that much of a problem with
I can't bother. I can't be around with that.
It doesn't bother me, I guess. It seems alright. I'll go with it. You know what I mean?
All right. Hansborough's initial foul was upgraded from a flagrant 1 to a flagrant 2, meaning he should have been ejected from the game at the time.
Okay.
But there is no further suspension as a result. Okay? So that's 2 of them down. I'm fine with that. I don't really know what the upgraded flagrant foul does, except for maybe it'll make him one more flagrant foul and he has to sit. I don't know the flagrant rules anymore. They change them every year. I can never keep track of them. Here's the last one, though. Where'd it go? Pittman has been suspended for 3 games for his elbow to the throat and his subsequent brotherly love wink afterwards.
You could see here they put these. There's like a priority level on each suspension. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Hasn't bad for Game 6, and then he just got a 3-game suspension there. Hansborough, nothing really happened. I don't have a problem with it. I guess
It was a hard
They
foul, but he went
obviously
for the block,
ranked
so
them.
I'm
I'm
fine
fine.
with
You know what
I mean, I think the reason it probably got upgraded is because it did cause a cut
Yeah.
on Dwayne Wade's face. I mean, so
If stuff went down, it happened. So if
It-
it happens, it happens.
it does. Well, while we're on the NBA topic, before we go to a break, I want to talk real quick about the Heat just occupying always SportsCenter's top 10 place. Did you see the top plays last night?
I didn't see it last night, but I saw somebody tweets about it, complaining about it. I think all I know is people aren't happy, and I know you aren't happy.
I'm ridiculously unhappy.
So I just feel like sometimes on SportsCenter top 10 plays, some stuff is like, really, is that a top 10 play? You couldn't find something better. You know
I'll
what I
tell
mean?
you, thing is, most of these plays that I see that LeBron James and Dwayne Wade are doing, okay,
I have a better one for you when we're done here.
okay, I see them when they do these plays. It's okay. I could have done that. If you caught me on camera doing that, you wouldn't even put it on SportsCenter. Nevertheless, on your top 10 plays.
Mm-hmm.
But because your name is LeBron James and Dwayne Wade, all of a sudden it's the number one play without any doubt in anybody's mind.
Oh yeah,
Why?
it's LeBron James. But here's something even more interesting to think about. How about the Sports Center not top 10 plays? I notice sometimes I witness things on there. It's a lot of fan stuff, like fans trying to catch a home run, and he's so uncoordinated, can't even come down with the catch. And the broadcasters are belittling him. And the Sports Center announcers are making fun of him. Those are filled with them a lot. If it's on Sports Nation, do you think it's unfair to do that? Do you think it's kind of like, come on, dude? Do you think it's a little shameful you're doing there? Like you're not top 10 plays. Like, why are the fans in there?
Yeah.
Do something with sports. So it's just my personal opinion on it. I think it needs to be readjusted one way or another.
It really does, and I see it way too often that these guys are happening. That this sort of junk is happening every single night. That because my name is LeBron James, one of them was he grabbed the rebound, he threw it length of the court. You know what? I did that when I was 5 years old. Well, I take it back. 5th grade, not 5 years old. I was
gonna say.
The
The best is when you see like a 7-footer just go like this and put it in, and it's like Sports Center top. The top
They're
day.
so focused on NBA and on these plays that I'm seeing over and over again, and not focusing. I love seeing these diving catches in baseball. You're not seeing anything for that. Honestly, I would have rather seen Donald Driver winning Dancing with the Stars as the number one top play than LeBron James catching a ball, pretending to fall out of bounds, throwing it to Wade, who just does a lazy two-handed dunk as a number one play. That is garbage.
Yeah.
Well,
It is
all
what
right.
it is.
It is what it is. Before we get too riled up yet again, let's take a quick break here. We'll be back from the Crane Room Bar and Grill. This is 3SN Live.
What's up, man? Then there's Pete. Then there was Pete.
Need a place to go to watch the game? Looking for a great game day atmosphere that hosts great food, great service, and the most variety of craft beer in town? Then come on down to the Crane Room Bar and Grill in Newcastle, where the beer is always cold and the best wings are right here. The specials every night, there's always a good deal waiting for you at the Crane Room. Come out on Mondays for $2 23-ounce domestic drafts from 7 to 9. Tuesdays, burger nights. Enjoy $5 burgers from 7 to 9 p.m. Of course, if pasta's your gig, Wednesday is your night. Pasta night goes bonanza. Thursday, it's pound for pound wings all night at $2 domestic drafts from 7 to 9. And mixed drinks are half off every Friday from 5 to 7 p.m. And Saturdays, from 7 to 9, it's $1 off draft beers. And for every Pirates game this year, enjoy a 23-ounce Icy Light for just $2. Whether it's to watch the game, at the bar, enjoy a night out at the outdoor patio, or sit down with your honey for dinner at the restaurant, the Crane Room has everything that you need. So come on down to the Crane Room Bar and Grill. Get your fix on wings, sports, and beer. Just off Route 18 in beautiful, sunny Newcastle, Pennsylvania.
The 360 Sports Network is not a blog. We are a network, a collaboration of websites, blogs, radio stations, restaurants, and more. We are a group created by the fans, for the fans. Whatever the fans feel is newsworthy in the world of sports, we talk about it. We believe that everybody is a fan and everyone is an analyst. That's the whole 360 concept. We invite all fans to join in the 360 Sports Network by posting on the website directly, 360sportsnetwork.com, or by linking their posts to the collaborative network. You can be a part of the show tonight by tweeting us at 3S Network, or by tweeting Alex and James directly at 3SNDLab and at 3SN. Thank you for your interest in the 360 Sports Network. We'll be back to 3SN Live in a moment, but first it's time for a 3SN Sports Break. The LA Kings return to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time in 19 years after last night's 4-3 overtime victory over the Phoenix Coyotes. Dustin Penner netted the game winner with just over 2 minutes left to go in overtime. The Kings wait now for the winner of the New Jersey Devils and New York Rangers. That series returns to Madison Square Garden tonight, tied 2-2. LeBron James and Dwayne Wade have awoken and led the Heat to a 115-83 victory over the Indiana Pacers last night. The series travels back to Indy now, with the home team facing elimination in Game 6. Pacer starters Danny Granger and David West
left Game 5 with injuries. Things got ugly in Game 5 last night. In the second quarter, Tyler Hansborough hit Dwayne Wade across the face in an attempt to block a shot. Less than a minute later, Udonis Haslem appeared to retaliate with a two-arm slam to Hansborough's head. Then, with less than 30 seconds to go in the fourth quarter, with the game well out of reach, Dexter Pittman violently elbowed Lance Stevenson in the throat. Stevenson had made a choking gesture towards LeBron James earlier in the series after missing some free throws. All 3 fouls were deemed flagrant ones. Possible suspensions loom for Game 6 for all 3 players. And finally, the Indianapolis 500 will run this Sunday, coverage starting at 11 o'clock a.m. on ABC. Ryan Briscoe won the pole position, nosing out literally by a nose over second place James Hinchcliffe by a just 8 inches, .0023, 23 ten-thousandths of a second. The 8-inch difference and 23 ten-thousandth second difference is the closest ever between first and second place to start the Indianapolis 500. It is the 96th running. Dan Weldon, the defending champion, will be honored on lap 26 and lap 98, the numbers he rode to victory lane at Indy. And that's it for the 3SN Sports Briefing. Now back to 3SN Live at the Great.
The gleaming candlelight still burning.
Welcome back to the 360 Sports Network, and by that sound of the beautiful Jim Neighbors' voice back home again in Indiana, we're going to talk a little bit about the Indianapolis 500 and also the Monaco Grand Prix, 2 of the greatest racings in open-wheel racing, both for IndyCar and for Formula One, on the same weekend, on the same day. It's a great day to just sit down, Memorial Day weekend, watch some TV all day. Especially with some DVR, you can record one, watch the other, fast forward through all the commercials, all that good stuff. But we're here to talk about both the 500 and the Monaco Grand Prix. And with us tonight is our Formula One expert, joining us for the first time live, Mr. Ryan Mooney. How we doing, Ryan?
Good. How are you doing, James?
Oh, we're doing just fine. We're ready to roll. Let's start with the Monaco Grand Prix. Practice begins tomorrow. Correct?
Yes. Tomorrow's Thursday, right? I'm losing
Tomorrow's
track of time
Thursday,
here.
that's right.
It's Thursday, because Friday's a quiet day in Monaco. It's the only time in the year it happens.
The only time, hey, you like being a little different.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's fun being different. That's what makes the traditions really good. We've got some people in the audience who are trying to break our set here. We're going to have to take care of them. Oh, hey, too bad I don't have a camera for that, Pete. But no, I like the difference in tradition. It kind of breaks it up a little bit, gives you a little time. They are able to work on the cars on Friday, correct?
I think they are. I'm not really sure about that. They may be in Parc Fermé. I'm not sure about the particulars of it.
Hey, it's all about the particulars, and that's just the way it works.
But it is amazing having 2 legendary events on the exact same day. You'd think that they planned it this way or something.
But it's been this way for years.
Yeah.
I mean, Indy's first race was in 1911. Monaco was back in, what, the 40s?
I think the 30s.
Back in the
mid- to late
30s? It's been too long. It's been just a great run. And this year, especially in Formula One, you've had some great competition that we haven't seen in over a decade.
Well, absolutely. You've got 5 races and 5 different winners so far. There's absolutely no coherent end game, that's appeared yet. Each car looks strong. You've got, Red Bull, Lotus's E20. Kimi Raikkonen is doing great things in that, along with Romain Grosjean. Really tight competition, almost like 2011.
Oh, well, yeah, and the question now becomes
2010 rather. Sorry.
2010, yeah. I was gonna say 2011 Vettel really ran.
Oh no,
away.
yeah, 2011 was
scaring me there, man. You're supposed to be the no. I'm kidding. Question is though, can you be any sort of predictions then for this weekend when it's been such a crapshoot really on what's gonna happen from week to week?
Regarding Monaco, I've heard a lot of things that are contrary to what I'd expect. Lotus, I had expected the Lotus chassis to do really well at Monaco, especially in the hands of Kimi Raikkonen, but I've heard some things out of the team that say that they don't expect it to actually suit their strong points. So, I don't know, perhaps Red Bull.
Well, Red Bull's always a safe pick.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on how the weather comes out, that could really bring Ferrari back into the picture as well. Mercedes, I mean, their double DRS hasn't been as good the last couple of races.
Yeah.
It seems like everybody else is catching up with that.
Well, Ferrari brought a completely revised chassis to Spain a couple weeks ago, and apparently it's done good things. Fernando was second for a lot of that race, if I recall correctly. And so I don't know if it's going to feel at home at Monaco with that car.
Monaco is such a crazy track. I mean, you're driving right next to buildings the entire time, ready to go off the cliff into the bay.
Absolutely.
It's
a completely unique track. There's nothing else in the world at all like that.
And that's what makes it such a great place to race. Great traditions, very dangerous, very high speeds on very tight places, and qualifying means a lot in Monaco.
Absolutely, because there is very, very little passing. I can admit that freely. Okay, we've always talked about passing opportunities between IndyCar and Formula One, and you know, as much as Formula One already has trouble passing, Monaco is the epitome of that.
Oh, and when you have it that tight, and especially even the DRS zone is not that long. That's what's really encouraged a lot of the passing the last couple of years. Or in more than previous years, I should say. And I think that's what is going to make a big difference there too. Question is, can anybody pass the pole sitter? It's all going to be about the start.
Yeah, absolutely. And watch, you know, don't discount passing in the midfield. Look at last year. You had a great fight between Michael Schumacher and Lewis Hamilton. You had Lewis trying to fight back to get past Felipe Massa. That was excellent. Paul di Resta made a great pass on
I love Di Resta.
Oh, di Resta's a great shining, star talent. But watch the midfield. Maybe up front you won't see too much passing, but in the midfield you might see some really good.
And those
fights.
points, especially in tight year, is what's going to make the big difference.
Absolutely,
it seems like.
Absolutely.
Let's switch over to the later race. And I always say later because we're in America versus over in Britain. But starting off at noon will be the 96th running of the Indianapolis 500. You want to talk about how tight some of these cars are. In the qualifying procedure, it's not one lap, it's a 4-lap average. And over 4 laps of driving, 10 miles, Ryan Briscoe edged out over James Hinchcliffe by 23 ten-thousandths of a second. Over 10 miles, that's the equivalent of 8 inches. Anyone seen anything like that before?
You know, we've seen some really close finishes in Formula One, but I'm not sure if we've ever had an 8-inch margin at the finish. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's the closest qualifying difference in the history by far. Next closest was 1/10 of a second back in 1970. So now it comes down to race day. Pole position does not mean nearly as much on an oval as it does on a road to street course because there's just a lot more mileage, a lot more passing opportunities, obviously. The big question becomes, though, even though it's not as important, the most wins naturally have come from pole position in history. Does Briscoe have the ultimate advantage, or is there someone in the field that you like looking at better?
Well, of course, I mean, his Formula One heritage always makes me look at Rubens. I mean, especially with such an excellent qualifying showing, I'm going to have my eye on him. Power's another one I always got to watch because I'm a big fan of his. You know,
Yeah.
he's a genius on road courses. I want to see, you know, if he's able to contend with these guys on an oval.
And we didn't have a chance to see him last year. He came into Indy last year with the points lead, and he had trouble in the first pit stop, lost a wheel, ended up a lap down, never heard from the rest of the race as a result. Question is, he starts 5th this year. Can he stay up there? Can he get to the lead? I'd love to see it happen, especially a road warrior like he is, to make some noise on the ovals. You can't rule out his teammate, though, not the pole sitter, the other one, Helio Castroneves. With 3 wins under his belt at Indy, he's someone to keep your eye on. I like Rubens starting 10th. Let me ask you, this is a strategy that you see a lot in Formula One, especially this year. When it comes to the Fast 9, they wiped out the times. The way it works, it's kind of like knockout qualifying. The fastest 9 work together, or not work together, I'm sorry. They have their times wiped, and they need to qualify one more time. They are required to do it. When they do it, though, they are given 1 extra set of tires, 1 extra set of brand new tires. 7 of the 9 did it. Tony Kanaan and EJ Vizo. They went out, they did their warm-up lap, they pulled it right back into the pits. They did not use their run. They saved that set of tires and are going to start 8th and 9th as a result. Their teammate, Barrichello, starting 10th. So you have their three right together. What do you think of that strategy?
I don't know, because there's such a difference in terms of the degradation rate of tires in these two sports. I mean, Formula One tires, soft tires, I'm assuming they gave them extra softs for Indy.
Oh, yes.
Formula One, those softs will last a couple of laps. In Indy, they can use them partially, put them back on scrub later in the race if they need to, or they last a lot longer even if you use them in one stint.
Yeah.
Don't really know how it's going to work out.
Yeah. Oh, and they give them a lot more tires, especially for Indy, because they've been practicing for an entire week. 7 days of practice leading up to pole day
That's
and
intensive.
bump day. And that's a great tradition that they wipe everything out and worry just about Indy for one time. So
I'm far more concerned with downforce levels. We don't hear a lot about that in IndyCar, but I mean, really on an oval, especially when there's a lot of pack running or semi-pack
or more of
running,
it, yeah.
You got to be concerned with, do you set up, if you assume you're going to be in the midfield, do you set up for low downforce or high downforce so you can take advantage of the wake, or do you set up for low downforce assuming you're going to be up front most of the
And
time?
that's what the Target guys have done for years. Last few years, they've started on pole, they set themselves up to be up front, and they run well. As soon as they get caught in traffic, all of a sudden you see them moving back in the field, back in the
Because
field.
you get a lot of understeer and it's all over.
And that's why I think you're going to see Andretti Autosport do really well this weekend, because they have worked well in practice this week, working together, working in that draft, figuring out what this new chassis will do. And I'll tell you what, they're getting a lot more dirty air, but that's making the toe a lot stronger. They're saying being 10 car lengths behind this year is like being 3 car lengths behind last year. Big difference. It's going to be interesting. So before we sign off here on the open wheel race, I want a winner prediction for Monaco and a winner prediction for Indianapolis. Go.
Indianapolis, you know what? I don't even know. New chassis, that's going to be crazy. Great field set lined up. I guess I'm going to go with maybe Castroneves. He sounds like a safe bet. I'm going to play it conservatively.
To be the four-time winner in the 500 history. It's not.
It's
a
doable.
bad bet.
It's doable. For Monaco, you know what? I got to go. Red Bull just looks so strong. They always have. And Vettel is a genius, especially at Monaco, where it's so tight. You got to get so close to the wall. The kid is quick. He's an intelligent driver. I'm going to give it to him.
All right, give me a dark horse real quick as well.
For both?
Yes.
My buddy Ruben's in Indy.
Good
You never
call.
know. You never. He's
Starting 10.
experienced. Yeah. And for Monaco, let's say Lewis Hamilton.
He's been solid.
His
Started with a bunch of third place. If he can stay nice in the pit,
His bad luck has to end at some point, and
You would
it
think.
might as well be here.
well, it can only get worse here. Hopefully. All right, I better give mine as well. We'll start with Monaco. You know what? What team hasn't won yet?
You can go with Force India.
We're gonna go Force India. You know what? Here we go. Paul di Resta. Paul di Resta. Why not? You need a 6th race, a 6th winner.
Now, is this your dark horse or is this your legitimate?
We might as well be both. All right, we'll save di Resta for the dark horse. If we need a 6th team, he would be the one that would get it. As for my, I guess, legitimate pick, I will say, I think you're right. You know what? No, I'm going to say Ferrari really came out of nowhere. I'm going to go with Massa. Actually, I think he's been a little bit too quiet this year.
That is
he needs
bold.
he
That
needs
is
to step up. It is. You know what? It's bold. Any other year, I would be. Well, even now, I'm probably getting daggers shot at me. But the thing is, the way this has gone this year, anything's possible. If HTM were to win a race, it wouldn't surprise me. So, I don't know. As for Indianapolis, I'll start with my dark horse, Sebastian Bourdais. He's starting back in the field, 25th, but he is quick. He's finally got rid of Lotus Power. He's got Chevy now. Chevy's by far the strongest this year. I'd like to see what he can do. He'll fly up through the pack. I like what he can do. But my pick will be, how fitting would this be? James Hinchcliffe taking over for Danica Mania, taking over the GoDaddy car. He came up 8 inches short in qualifying. I think he makes it and drinks the milk for the 96 running. I don't know. It's just going to be a fun time.
Sounds good.
And all I'm waiting for is to fry. It's going to be 95 degrees up there.
Oh my goodness, that's going to be great.
Hey, got to be a fun day. Well, thank you again for
thank
joining
you.
us on
Absolutely.
3SN Live. We're going to take one last break. When we come back, we're going to talk, who knows what about. We'll probably talk a little bit about what's going on in college football because, well, we love college football. So we'll be back here with 3SN Live in a moment from the Crane Room. Thanks for joining.
Need a place to go to watch the game? Looking for a great game day atmosphere that hosts great food, great service, and the most variety of craft beer in town? Then come on down to the Crane Room Bar and Grill in Newcastle, where the beer is always cold, and the best wings are right here. The specials every night, there's always a good deal waiting for you at the Crane Room. Come out on Mondays for $2 23-ounce domestic drafts from 7 to 9. Tuesdays, burger nights. Enjoy $5 burgers from 7 to 9 p.m. Of course, if pasta's your gig, Wednesday's your night. As pasta night goes bonanza. Thursday, it's pound-for-pound wings all night at $2 domestic drafts from 7 to 9. And mixed drinks are half off every Friday from 5 to 7 p.m. And Saturdays, from 7 to 9, it's $1 off draft beers. And for every Pirates game this year, enjoy a 23-ounce Icy Light for just $2. Whether it's to watch the game, at the bar, enjoy a night out at the outdoor patio, or sit down with your honey for dinner at the restaurant, the Crane Room has everything that you need. So come on down to the Crane Room, Bar and Grill. Get your fix on wings, sports, and beer. Just off Route 18 in beautiful, sunny Newcastle, Pennsylvania.
The 360 Sports Network is not a blog. We are a network, a collaboration of websites, blogs, radio stations, restaurants, and more. We are a group created by the fans, for the fans. Whatever the fans feel is newsworthy in the world of sports, we talk about it. We believe that everybody is a fan and everyone is an analyst. That's the whole 360 concept. We invite all fans to join in the 360 Sports Network by posting on the website directly, 360sportsnetwork.com, or by linking their posts to the collaborative network. You can be a part of the show tonight by tweeting us at 3S Network, or by tweeting Alex and James directly at 3SNDLab and at 3SN. Thank you for your interest in the 360 Sports Network. Now back to 3SN Live at the Green.
Crane Room Bar and Grill, 360 Sports Network Live. I'm having my spinach artichoke dip being eaten by one of our fans out in the audience because I apparently don't eat it quickly enough. Well, that's kind of what happens when you're too busy talking about some IndyCar racing. So we're done with the open wheel racing. We're going to move to a love of both of ours, some college sports, college football in particular.
Before we get into that, I just want to say Derek Burns, New Wilmington resident and Pitt football player, was rushed to the hospital yesterday. There's rumors going around that he had suffered a blood clot and stroke. I'm not sure. That's just what I've heard. But either way, we send our thoughts and prayers to
keep him in your
family.
thoughts. We'll if we hear any new information here, we will surely pass it on to you. Hopefully for a quick and full recovery, not for playing but for life, because that's something you don't want to mess with. That's pretty tough to do.
Absolutely. But anyways, as far as college football goes, I wrote an article yesterday on our webpage. A lot of interesting comments, a lot of perspectives. I wrote about why I think if the dominoes start to fall, if FSU leaves, if Clemson leaves, if another team starts to leave the ACC, I think Pitt should pull a TCU. I think if they had the opportunity to sneak into the Big 12, and there was a lot of interest last year, it wasn't just merely talking, there was heavy interest, I think Pitt should do it. And reason being is because Pitt would already basically be back into the Big East again. And we have some technical difficulty here, folks.
All right, you missed all the electronics, at least.
This is
what in the world?
You know how every group of friends has that asshole? That was our asshole right there.
You know what? While we clean this up, we're taking a quick break. We're finishing this up. We'll be back. 3S Live in a minute.
Just happy it wasn't me.
Need a place to go to watch the game? Looking for a great game day atmosphere that hosts great food, great service, and the most variety of craft beer in town? Then come on down to the Crane Room Bar and Grill in Newcastle, where the beer is always cold, the best wings are right here. The specials every night, there's always a good deal waiting for you at the Crane Room. Come out on Mondays for $2 23-ounce domestic drafts from 7 to 9. Tuesdays, burger nights. Enjoy $5 burgers from 7 to 9 p.m. Of course, if pasta's your gig, Wednesday is your night as pasta night goes bonanza. Thursday, it's pound for pound wings all night at $2 domestic drafts from 7 to 9. And mixed drinks are half off every Friday from 5 to 7 p.m. And Saturdays, from 7 to 9, it's $1 off draft beers. And for every Pirates game this year, enjoy a 23-ounce Icy Light for just $2. Whether it's to watch the game, at the bar, enjoy a night out at the outdoor patio, or sit down with your honey for dinner at the restaurant, the Crane Room has everything that you need. So come on down to the Crane Room, bar and grill. Get your fix on wings, sports, and beer. Just off Route 18 in beautiful, sunny Newcastle, Pennsylvania.
Alright, we're back now, I guess, after a little bit of spillage out here. All the equipment seems to be dry. We're continuing to clean up. You know what, that's the beauty of live entertainment, folks. You never know what's going to happen. And we just got Pete factored. That's all I can say. We have
Pete
great,
is
wonderful
our-
Pete Leck.
Pete is our NHL analyst for 360 Sports Network. You'll know some of the famous blog posts he wrote for us.
Yeah, he's
And
always...
we were talking college football, and he wasn't very happy about that.
Apparently
so
not.
we decided to bring this whole establishment
He
down.
wants to talk hockey. Who's going to win the cup? Let's start with who's going to win the Rangers series. Maybe we need to start with that.
Your mom.
He's got a mouthful.
You said your mom.
Is that who it is? He apparently
Charger
doesn't have an
smells
opinion.
like beer.
Told you, I came to listen.
He came to listen, not to... I can't even get a name. Rangers or Devils? Give me a name.
Rangers.
He says Rangers. All right, he says Rangers versus Kings. That's the welcoming that Pete Leck decides to give us, joining us on 3SN Live for the first time. While we finish the cleanup, again, just want to say what the 360 Sports Network is all about. We are not a blog. We are a network, a collaboration of sites, restaurants, sponsorships, radio stations, and everything when it comes to being a full-blown network as a whole. We are joined with some great names like 24/7 Sports Zone, Calf Muscle, and of course the Crane Room Bar and Grill. We broadcast
WBBW.
weekly on WBBW, talking fantasy sports, ESPN Radio. So what we encourage is to talk everything sports, not just what the big names, the powers that be, say is important. We want to talk about everything. That's why we talk about Formula One and IndyCar, two sports that don't get hit much. That's why we talked about wrestling last week. That's why we want to do anything that is important. You want us to talk about lacrosse? Thank you. We'll talk about lacrosse. We're going to talk about whatever we want, whatever you want, the fans, because we are by the
See, he's
fans
so choked
and for
up.
the fans.
He's so
I'm so
passionate about it. He's
choked
so
up.
choked up right
You know
You're
what?
just jealous because your girlfriend's feeding him.
Well, that too. Get off the set. All right, we're going back.
We have a rogue fan over here trying to get on it. Security, get her out of here.
Yeah, security's
I
gonna
am
have to
the
take care of this
security.
one. Well, that too. All right. Let's get back to business here. We're gonna talk about some college football. The rumors going around. It's pretty much guaranteed that the BCS is no longer gonna happen. Thank you very much. It's about time.
So here's my prediction. Everyone's so happy about this playoff form or this Final Four format.
That they're supposedly coming
I
out
know
with.
that they're supposed to come out with or whatever. I'm telling you right now, I could just see it now. 4 SEC teams, and then we're back where we are all over again. Alabama, LSU, Florida, Auburn, whatever. It'll be that way, and then it'll be like, what's even the point of it? I could just see it happening.
Well, and the problem is exactly that. What is the criteria for this Final Four? Is it the top 4 teams in the BCS? If so, the computers are so stacked against a league that plays against itself and nobody else.
Well, I don't know what the official method of getting the 4 teams in there, but I think it will be that. I think it will be the top 4, and you're right. The computers, love SEC teams, and they look. I'm not saying the best talent's not there. I'm just saying I want to see a better product, and I don't know if a Final Four will just do that. Even if it's not all 4 teams, it'll be 2 or 3. It's going to be SEC dominated. It's a lot better than where we were, but we still have more to go.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm not going to settle on this just yet. So, but here's another thing I've been reading. Hypothetically, and this won't ever happen because, they are Pitt. If Pitt was to win the ACC with a 11-2 record, 12-1, which probably never happen, they could make it into the Final Four. That'd be great. You know what I mean? Maybe this Paul Chris guy can, could do something great, beat up on a weaker conference. You know what I mean? But
we've already talked about what the weakness in that conference brings and how Pitt might be going elsewhere. That's something that we're going to have to deal with as we go. Another possibility, besides a Final Four, is the idea of a +1. Having one team that's being named as the top team, and then numbers 2 and 3 doing a playoff for the right to play in that championship game. Is that any better, or is that just going to give us...
So the top team and then the 3 fight to get in?
And then the top team and then 2 and 3 would face each other. The winner going to play the championship. So instead of a Final Four, it's a Final 3.
Yes.
But again, it's all about how you name those teams, though. Because if it's SEC teams...
Is it a clear-cut number 1, or is it one of those situations where a 10-2 Florida team gets in over a 12-0 Oklahoma State team? Is it a clear-cut number 1?
Mm-hmm.
I just think you need a larger format.
Yeah, and that's the thing. This year, that would have worked. You would have had LSU, clear-cut number 1, Bama, and Oklahoma State as the 2 and 3.
Just get your conference winners into a tournament and keep the ball. What's so flippin' hard about this?
Good catch.
You know what I mean?
I agree. What is so difficult about that? It's if they do a Final Four, this is the way I do it. It's got to be the 4 major conference champions. So SEC, Big 12, Pac-12.
Don't even say Big East.
Big 10, ACC. Well, Big East has lost their BCS bid at this point.
Is it official?
That's live. Don't quote me on that, but
so
that's
wait,
live. There's 5 power conferences right now.
Think. Are you sure?
Don't quote me on it.
I've not heard anything.
Look it up on your little MacBook or mini book, whatever the heck it is.
Netbook.
But you have the Big 12, SEC, Big 10, ACC, Pac-12. You got 5 teams right now. Even if you say you can only be eligible if you are a conference champion, you are guaranteed to have 4 different conferences, and you're going to have to prove which conference is best.
I don't have a problem with that. Maybe we'll shut up then about SEC bias. Maybe it'll be in our face.
If the SEC wins in that format, by all means, I will take back everything I ever said about the SEC.
Well, I guess I'm reading right now for everything I googled. The Big East BCS bid is good through 2015.
So the BCS last time.
As of now, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
But
now here's the other question though, because you could still have it. If we had it this year, the 4 teams that would have made it in for this Final Four format that we've just proposed, you would have had LSU, you would have had Oklahoma State, you would have had Oregon, and you would have had next one up would have probably been Clemson would have been ranked higher than Wisconsin. So Clemson would have taken that 4th spot, but Clemson and Wisconsin would have had that last one.
Yeah.
All right. From there, you would have had your Final Four would have been LSU versus Clemson probably. You would have had who did I leave? Oregon versus Oklahoma State. I would have been fine with that.
Yeah.
But what if you had years where, and it could literally happen, and it has happened before, where the teams would have been, you've had Alabama, say Stanford, but then the best team in the other conferences, you would have had a West Virginia and a 20th ranked Virginia Tech. So you have a rank limit. That conference championship is good, but you need to be in this top 10, top 15.
I think you run the risk of overcomplicating this, though.
Well, the BCS isn't complicated for you? Can you tell me how the BCS works? If you can tell me how the BCS works, then yes, I will say that is too complicated.
Well, basically... there it is.
Fair enough. Artificial intelligence has taken over the world.
Getting there.
Yep.
Peanut Gallery agrees.
I love Peanut Gallery.
That's her name, Peanut Gallery.
I'm
We call her Peanut.
marketer.
You know how every wrestler has that female manager. This is what Peanut Gallery is to us. She writes the signs. She comes out.
We're gonna start a feud on the air.
Maybe come over there. I'll show
I
you.
kind of love it actually.
Hey,
But
we had enough flagrant foul here in this episode. All right?
yes, we have. But all right, here's the next thing. We have at this point we're gonna have technically 6 conference champions. All right, even if you say using to get into What if you do it a final 6? What if you make it like the NFL, like one conference of the NFL?
Yeah.
So you have 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5. They move on, 1 and 2 get a bye. Okay?
I think
I mean, right there you'll have 5 games. There's your 5 BCS bowls. I mean, 4 BCS bowls, 1 team gets the double.
this will never happen. But I wouldn't oppose to that because it's better than.
And then,
what we
like if
have
a team like West Virginia ranked too low below that 15 threshold or whatever you want to say it, then you bring in. That's when you're allowed to get a second team from another conference. That's when you can get a Boise State. That's when you can get a Notre Dame.
You know what division level of football? Don't they have like some kind of tournament, like a full-fledged
They have
tournament?
a full-fledged tournament.
Not
for
a playoff, but like it's almost like a March Madness tournament. Is that like Division 2?
It's everything. The FCS division, former Division 1
Imagine
AA,
having
Division 2, Division 3.
Imagine having a March Madness with college football teams. I mean, that'd be.
The thing is,
It won't happen. It's
football
unrealistic.
it takes so long to between
I
games
know.
that you never be able to have. Even having an 18 playoff, that's 3 extra weeks. I mean, thing is though, think how many games have already, or how many weeks they have off. They have over 50 days off. Why can't you fill that up with stuff other than the TicketCity.com, Tostitos, yeah, exactly. I can't. There was one that was extremely.
Okay, look. I don't oppose to any of the suggestions.
San
you said.
Diego County Credit Union poinsetable. I mean,
Yeah.
why?
Look, I think anything is better than what we have now. The suggestions you said, the suggestion I had about the conference winners making it in, to me they just sound logical. But for whatever
Anything
reason,
is better than what we got.
it'll always come down to business. I mean, if they want to make some adjustments.
I told you this whole show would be about business. College football is a business. For some reason,
Improve or die.
BCS sells.
If we get in a better conference or die, like the TCA did.
Yeah, you need to get in a better
They
conference or die.
leapfrogged,
Yeah.
You know, all the way from what conference they were in, some
Right.
crap conference. Now they're in the Big 12.
Yeah.
And if Pitt, I swear, if the ACC starts to fall apart, you know, and the other teams start leaving, I have no problem with Pitt, you know, jumping ship and joining another stable conference like the Big 12. And
Yeah. Thing is, though, eventually, at this rate, Pitt's going to end up in the Pac-12.
that's the thing that's so frustrating is because you got teams from one side of the country in conferences with another. Look at the Big East. You got San Diego State and Temple in the same
Yeah.
conference. Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. They shouldn't even be called the Big East. They should be called the Big. It depends.
It's
That's
the
what
new
they call it.
Conference USA.
Yeah, it's just
It
big
is
whatever.
the new Conference USA.
It is what it is, and it's unfortunate. Geographically, the ACC is still the best for Pitt. I think the Big. You know what? I think the Big Ten is still the most stable conference in terms of power and money. You know what I mean? It's just
All
it's
the
more
above.
than football.
You know what? You just brought up a very good point. You actually brought this up to me yesterday in one of your tweets, talking about some of the top-ranked college programs when it came to college football. Okay?
Yeah.
You said, if I correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm going to start looking this back up again, that Pitt ended up like number 40 something in terms of college football
They were
rankings.
like 43 or.
And this was not just about their program stability, but this went with conference, this went with academics, all the above. So performance, stability, academics, everything.
Yep.
SEC schools dominated that thing.
Yep.
And the way that you sent a tweet back to me when I asked when it was about academics, I said SEC better be down in the 80s and 90s because they are all about everything but academics.
Look, business. There it is. The thing is, Pitt was atop the Big East, and they were like 41 out of all the college football programs, and you know that's modest at best. You know what I mean? From what I understand, West Virginia, they were lower than Pitt. I guess from what I heard, academics brought them down a lot, and this was a ranking of just value college football programs. You know what I mean? And Penn State was like 5. You know,
They got one of the highest graduation rates, so that's understandable. They're consistently 8, 9, 10 wins. That's
West Virginia is a competitive, is a very competitive program, but they've been ranked so poorly due to their academics. And, well, I don't blame them. I don't blame it for happening that way, but it is that way.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I guess, like you said, if academics was taken into consideration more, SEC wouldn't be.
And and you said to me, from what you were reading, the SEC programs were so strong that it makes up for lack of academics. You know why the SEC programs are so strong? Because some stupid computer system has decided the SEC is better. Until they play each other, and unless LSU or Alabama played Oklahoma State, you cannot tell me that those two teams are better than Oklahoma State. You cannot convince me. I don't care what anybody says.
The BCS is like a giant tree, very mammoth-sized tree. I don't know if that makes any sense, but a big tree. And how do you get rid of the tree? You gotta attack its foundation, attack its core. Take down the computers and all the branches, which are the SEC teams.
They're starting
start
to.
to fall. You know what I mean? It won't be the same anymore.
They're trying to do that.
I think they recognize it. I mean, that's why they're doing this.
You're right.
I mean, that's all I can really say about this topic, to be honest. But
I don't know.
It's all about the business.
Real quick, we had a post come in that came through. Somebody said earlier regarding the Miami Heat and the Pacers suspensions. This is from Anonymous. He wants to remain anonymous. If you suspended Udonis Haslem and Dexter Pittman of the Heat, why not suspend Tyler Hansborough of the Indiana Pacers as well? He committed a flagrant foul too. Be fair about the situation. How do you respond to that?
Well, I wouldn't object to it. You know what I mean? But I guess it's done already. And I still think what they did today was fine. But what did when we read that thing on NBA.com, the game was already over. What are you supposed to do? You know what I mean? He couldn't be ejected from the game anymore. Look, it's over. Be happy about it. You know what I mean? This anonymous poster. No problem with what he said, but it's over with.
Yeah,
It's not making a big deal about it.
I don't know. I see where he's coming from. He was given a flagrant foul as well. I think that the calls on the court were incorrect. I think Hansborough should have been a flagrant 1 because they hit him in the face and it was drawn blood. Personally, I think Haslam should have been a flagrant 2. He should have been ejected immediately. No further suspension. This last one should have been a flagrant 2 with suspensions because that was downright blatant and ugly. So when it comes to after the fact, when it comes down to after the fact, can you suspend all 3 of them? Seeing as Hansborough's out of all 3, he at least was going for the ball. I could see that in the replay. It looked like he was going for the ball. So for me, I can understand not suspending him. I would have had no problem if they did suspend him though, as long as the other 2 were suspended equally long or longer.
No, I agree. It is what it is. Yeah.
Well, that's gonna about wrap everything up.
Yeah, this was a very interesting, segment or show we had today. We got, we were attacked by one of our own, one of our blood here. We've had, wild, crazy fans. One of our general manager, one of our managers was drunk on the set. Just so many crazy things.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to have had Ryan here. Thank you again, Ryan, for joining us and talking some racing. Hope to have him back here next week to do some post-race analysis for both Indy and Monaco. And anybody who has anything that is relative to the world of sports is welcome to come on and join us. I mean, we will mute you if you decide to go completely off the hook and say something that ought not be said. But anybody, that's the 360 concept. Everybody has the right to be heard. Everybody can be a fan. Everybody is an
Can I
analyst.
just say a general disclaimer here? General disclaimer. Keep a hold of your beer.
That will be our next
Other
topic.
alcoholic beverages. Thank you.
You know how we're by the fans, for the fans. We just let people randomly come on and rant like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is what I mean. You want to come over to the set and just talk? We let you. Yeah, that's what makes us great. We're not ESPN.
Everybody is a fan. Everybody's an analyst.
One thing.
Again,
Yeah, we got,
live from the Crane Room, we are the 360 Sports Network. Thank you so much for joining us and listening to us ramble.
And keep Derek Burns in your thoughts and prayers.
Exactly.
Have a good night, everyone.